right, so thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to Germantown Community Theatre's Inside GCT, a look inside the upcoming production here at Germantown Community Theatre. And tonight we are honored to be joined by our director and two cast members for our upcoming farce comedy Rumors by Neil Simon, which opens on September 11th. So let's dive right in. Let me introduce you to our guests. We have our director, Jason Spitzer, and two of our actors, Brian Everson and Stuart Turner. Gentlemen, if you would, let's just go down the line and introduce yourselves and tell us something about you that's interesting.
Let's start at the other end.
My name is Stuart Turner. My real job, I'm an optician for Southern College of Optometry here in Memphis, Tennessee. And that's about it. I do a lot of theater.
You do a lot of theater. My name is Brian Everson, and I'm privileged to be in this show with my beautiful wife and the child, which is still in her belly, Aria.
That's right, yay.
Oh, it's my turn again. I am Jason Spitzer, the director of the play, as you mentioned. Previously here at GCT, I directed an Agatha Christie mystery and a musical called Gory Stories. And for the audience watching at home, after they saw that, that's probably when they canceled their subscriptions here.
We did have a drop in membership.
Indeed, indeed. My apologies.
We're hoping you redeem yourself with this one.
Well...
So, gentlemen, tell us about the show Rumors.
Well, it is a very funny comedy. It's a farce, actually. Neil Simon wrote it. It is his only farce that he has ever written, a straight farce. He wrote it in 1988. And really, at that time, he was at the top of his game because 3 years later, he'd win a Pulitzer Prize for Lost in Yonkers. So this is really Simon at his best and at his funniest. Anything you'd like to add?
For the audience members at home, it is not Gory Stories.
Let's underline that.
Not gory stories.
So Stuart, tell us a little bit more about the play. What is the character? Who is the character that you play? And
I play Leonard Gans. I'm an accountant. And it's a bunch of friends coming to a dinner party to celebrate the 10th wedding anniversary of their friends Charlie and Myra. He's the deputy mayor of New York, and a lot of mistakes happen. A lot of, as with any farce, it's like misunderstandings and mistaken, I don't know. I don't want to give away too much.
Mistaken
mistaken identities. I just don't want to give away too much.
Of course.
So I'm hesitant to say very much about it.
And Brian, who is the character that you play?
I play Ken Gorman. I'm an attorney, and I yell a lot.
Now, if I remember correctly, your character is technically the first on the scene, right? The first in the house, you and your wife.
Yes,
isn't that right?
yes. My wife, what is her name in the show?
Chris.
Yes, we arrive first, and just the hilarity ensues from the moment we hit the door.
Right. And then, Stuart, you and your wife are second to arrive.
Yes, after a horrible car accident.
That you were involved in.
My character was involved.
That's right.
Yes,
that's right.
of course.
Not Stuart the actor.
No.
Now, we heard that Jason has directed for us before. Have either one of you been gracing the GCT stage?
Yes, quite a few times. I think both of us have. So this might be my 6th time, I think, up here, and
4th or 5th for me.
Yeah.
And there are several shows that we've done together as well.
Yeah.
Actually, a farce a couple of years ago. So.
And that was Boeing, right?
Boeing.
Right.
Yeah. So this type of comedy is familiar to both of us.
Yeah.
Well, Jason, now that we've heard about their characters, can you tell us about the rest of your cast? Who's in the cast? I'm going to put you on the spot. They are here tonight. So
I hope I remember them all.
If you need any help, you can look out there and they'll raise their hands.
Oh, good. Playing Brian's wife, Chris, is Lena Wallace, who's a very funny comedian. She was recently in The Fox on the Fairway here at GCT.
Yes, she helps membership sales.
Oh, does she?
She does.
Well, you say so. Playing Stuart's wife is another lovely comedienne, a woman named Melissa Moore. And then we have two wonderful comedic actors, John Hemphill, who just took home an Ostrander, one of our local acting prizes, the other night, and Giselle Carroll playing Ernie and Cookie, another couple that comes by. And we have the very loud Chase Ring, and the very funny Rachel Everson, Brian's wife, playing another couple, Glenn and Cassie. And then we have a very funny young man named Michael Bouchard and another funny young woman named Sydney Trice playing two police officers that drop by after a great deal of shenanigans ensue.
Oh, very interesting. So let's go into the acting mode for just a moment so you can take a rest, Jason.
Great. Much like the rehearsal process.
So, Brian and Stuart, talk to us about the process you've taken as an actor to take on these roles that you're playing. Or is there a process?
Stuart?
Well, especially with a farce, this is not, making a big statement about anything or anything like that. This is to be funny. That's what it's for. And I think that Neil Simon, his words are beautifully written on the page, and if you use his words, your character can come out from those. So there's not really like a lot of research like you would do in a historical play or something that has a little bit more depth to it. It's just about memorizing the lines, delivering them. Timing is really important in a comedy. It's almost like learning a piece of music. This joke has to go on this beat, or this beat, or this beat, or it's not going to be funny. If it's too early or too late, the joke falls flat.
I went on a retreat in Tibet to get ready for this role. A lot of meditation to really get in touch with my character.
So that you could yell.
Yes.
Very good. So a silent retreat in order to yell.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. So from the directing perspective, Jason, what's the process that you take when you're bringing this farce to life? I mean, how do you get the characters out of them? And talk to us about that process.
Well, sometimes I read the play, and sometimes I don't. Lena could probably tell you about some of the times I didn't. But at any rate, this time, all of these people came into the rehearsal process having some familiarity with the play, and they knew who their characters were, and they knew what we were trying to accomplish, and they're all funny people. They're all very funny people. I sit in rehearsal and I laugh all the time, and I'm like Grumpy Cat. I don't laugh. So that is a high compliment to my cast. But in terms of just preparing them, it's exactly like Stuart says. When we get into rehearsal, it's very much like doing musical work, because everything has a sort of exacting amount of time that you need to apply to it. Pacing is very important. So we spend a lot of time, or we have spent a lot of time, working on timing, which is important.
Now, both of you emphasize this timing aspect. Is that going to be, will that change once an audience becomes apparent? Is that something that...
Somewhat, because you have to gauge, I mean, obviously if they're laughing boisterously out there and you're trying to say lines up here, they're going to miss the next joke. So you have to learn to feel out your audience. And it's not going to be the same every night. So you have to learn quickly what this audience is like tonight, so that you know when to pause for a little here or speed up a little here, because the jokes aren't going to land every night. They're not going to. And so one night you're going to get a laugh here, and the next night you're going to get a laugh here, and it's never going to be the same. That was just a big circle. I've had a long day at work. I'm sorry.
Better you answer it than Brian. So.
Yeah.
After the last one.
Yes, much better. No, anytime you get an audience for the first time, it completely changes the complexion of the show, which you've been doing for, I guess, we'll have been doing about 6 to 8 weeks at that point. And it becomes a completely different show, and it really takes you maybe 2 or 3 performances to get in the flow with an audience. So that's why we have nice things like dress rehearsals and friends and family, so we get used to that sort of thing and can adjust our timing accordingly.
It's almost like the audience is another character in the show.
Well stated. I imagine, too, that once you all moved onto the set, that things changed as well.
Of course. You have different levels. You have doors. I mean, in a farce, the doors are
A character.
they're a character too. They are their beats are just as important as the lines and the delivery of the lines. The slam of this door, the opening of this door, that's important in a farce.
And there's a lot of doors on this
There
set.
are a lot
Oh,
of
indeed,
doors.
indeed.
It wouldn't be a farce without
That's
lots of
right.
doors.
And a lot of doors in a small space on the GCT stage.
It's true. I wish the staircase could have been a little bigger, but you can't have everything.
That is true. Now, speaking of the staircase, why did you wish that it could be bigger?
Well, part of the fun of the play is people running up and down stairs all the time. Now, the actors accomplish it brilliantly with the small staircase, but I would have really liked to tire them out on a big one. You know, just the sadist in me.
Right, so my understanding is, though, you've added some components, though, to add some tiring effects to the actors. Can you talk to us about some of those, some bits that you may have put in here, some of your slapstick bits?
Indeed, indeed. If I'm known for anything, it is my physical comedy, that's a lie. I'm not known for that at all. In fact, my attempts to insert the physical comedy have met with the destruction of portions of the set. But we do work tirelessly at it. Slamming doors, doors hitting people in the face, people falling downstairs, lots of what we call phone cord choreography. The show is set in the 1980s, so that's important for people to know. No cell phones, you know? Lots of different little intrigues that I hope the audience will come and enjoy.
Great, very good. So, Jason, talk to us about how the set came to be. What process did that undertake?
So I met with the scenic designer, and he and I sat down and we talked about everything that was necessary. We needed a door to go into this room and a door to go into that room. We needed a staircase. We needed an exit into the outside world away from Charlie and Myra's home. So we talked about all of those things, and then he sort of sits down, the designer does, and he works his magic. And this is a man here at GCT named Andy Saunders, and he taught for 38 years or some very long time, you know, at MUS. He taught theater, and now he is retired, and he designs scenery here at GCT, and he does a miraculous job. And so you talk to him about everything that you need, and then he comes back with a concept. He's worked it all out, and you talk about all sorts of minutiae like colors and furniture and placement of furniture and things like that. And so once you get it all worked out, then you have an environment for the actors to create in.
How many changes has the set gone through? I mean, is this what it was when you had that first meeting?
No, we went through 2 permutations. We did one, and then I was perfectly satisfied with it because I have very low expectations. But Andy is exacting, and he was not satisfied at all with what he originally pitched, and he came back with something that was even better.
Very good. So, you two as actors, what is the actors' involvement with the set? How do you play around with the set? How do you learn the set? You know, talk to us about that process. Did you get to see the 2 iterations of the set, or did you just know the final version?
Just the final version, as far as I know. I never saw any other version than this one.
This is it. I guess with the set, the 2 most important things are don't kill the set and don't kill yourself on the set. So if you can accomplish both of those and still be funny, it should be your best friend by the end of the show.
And have you all been successful at not killing the set or yourselves on the set?
Have you killed anything on the set? I haven't.
I haven't killed, but maybe somebody kicked a hole in the door yesterday.
There
but it wasn't
might
me.
have been that might have happened.
Someone might have also knocked a door down.
And so a door might have fallen off of its hinges.
Indeed.
But
It's
it was
been
funny.
rough.
It
It's
was
been rough.
funny.
So tell us about those things a little bit more. I'd really like to hear, what is it like to be in a rehearsal and someone knock a door off or kick a hole in a door?
No, I was in a performance where a door fell on someone. It's hilarious.
It is hilarious. It's just not quite as hilarious as when it does happen in a show.
Indeed.
Right.
It's just even slightly more funny, though.
The audience loves it.
Oh, they love it.
For all you know, it's a trick we've worked into the whole enterprise.
That is true. That is very well stated. Okay, so what I like to ask is one of the things here is for each of you to tell me one of your favorite moments in the process so far. So think, and it can be from a directing perspective, it can be from an acting perspective, it can be from a moment that you helped an actor find their character, which may or may not have ever happened in this show. But talk to us about your favorite moment thus far in the process.
Stuart?
I think for me, and it's not one specific moment, but I enjoy it when everybody starts to get their lines down and the timing starts to meld together. It's just like the whole play changes and takes on a new shape, and it's a sudden thing. You know, you've been working on it. We may all have frustrations where we have spots where we still struggle to get through the lines or get through the scene, but there are parts that are really starting to click together. And that's what I like about the process, especially doing a farce. You've got the book down, you're starting to get props in your hands, and things just start to click along as they're supposed to. And then you have the problem of, well, I can't laugh at these funny people because I'm up here with them. And that's a struggle when you get to that point. But that's my favorite part of any farce.
Stuart stole mine, so I'll go with my second one. I would say I always enjoy the first night on set because it kind of brings it home and helps hone in the character a little bit. And this is actually the space that you'll be playing in, and it just helps you get a little bit more connected to what you're trying to do.
Well, I'm going to go with a specific moment. Not very long ago, three nights ago, we worked on this little bit of physical comedy, the thing that I'm becoming proficient in. And it was three of the actors and myself, and we sort of worked on it in secret. And we didn't tell anybody else about it. And I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Great.
I'm going to let you discover that on your own. But we deployed this in its moment in the show, and it was not only hysterical to the stage manager and myself and the props mistress who was here, but the actors on stage were so taken aback by what was going on around them that they could barely contain it as well. And it's always nice to know that there's a payoff for all that hard physical comedy work I'm doing, And so that is my favorite moment in this play. My second favorite moment will be when it is open and I am no longer in rehearsal for it.
Yeah, one of the things I like to ask now that we ask the cast to be here is I want to put you all on the spot, and I'd like for each one of you to tell me your favorite cast member and your least favorite cast member. I'm absolutely kidding. I would never ask you to do that.
I was ready with that one.
Just want to keep you on your toes. So before we dive into these final 9 questions, I just want to ask you, this is diverging from rumors, but I would really love to hear from each one of your minds a piece of work in theater that you would really love to do that you haven't yet done.
I hate this question.
Well, my problem is that I have already done my bucket list shows. One of them was 1776, the musical about the writing of the Declaration of Independence.
Right.
When I was younger, I always said to myself, you are going to have to keep your eyes peeled for this because it's not going to come around that often, and I have already done it 4 times. So, good things do happen, I guess. But I have had the great pleasure of doing all the shows I wanted to do, so I could drop dead right now. Stuart?
I would like to do Sam Shepard. I have never done well, I'm lying. I did Suicide and Be Flat when I was in college. But like True West, I would like to do something like that I've never done before. Or Live the Mind.
I'd really like to do Gory Stories.
I smell a hit. Which was coincidentally what I said to get you to do it the first time.
Okay, well, moving on. So we like to close our Inside GCT by asking 9 of the 10 famous questions from inside the actor's studio. So what we'll do is we will alternate the direction we go down the line so that Jason can't pitch it to someone else. He'll be on the hot seat from the start. So the first question is, what is your favorite word? And we'll go down the line this way.
Perspicacious.
Moist.
Facetious.
Interesting. Coming the other way, what is your least favorite word?
Moist.
What did you say? First time.
Facetious.
Facetious.
Perspicacious.
Starting with Jason. What turns you on?
I have this little switch on my back. You just have to flip it.
My beautiful wife.
That's good. That was
On
really
the
good.
nose.
His beautiful wife.
All right, coming the other way. What turns you off?
Dishonesty.
Bad smells.
Stupidity.
Starting with Jason. What sound do you love?
It's Chase Ring, isn't it?
It's okay, you can say it.
He's grown on me.
Like a mole.
Indeed. I love the sound of laughter.
I would have to say the Michigan fight song, which football starts tonight for us. Very excited. Go Blue.
Thunderstorms.
All right, starting with Stuart. What sound do you hate?
The stupid weather siren when it goes off during thunderstorms. It ruins my thunderstorm sound.
The Ohio State fight song.
Crickets.
All right, Jason, what profession other than yours would you like to attempt?
Oh, I know this one. Amateur sleuth.
I'd like to be a butt double.
Mine's honest. I'd like to be a chef.
They weren't being honest?
I don't know.
I was being 100%
Okay.
honest.
I was too. Come on.
All right, Stuart, what profession would you not like to do?
Ditch digger. Sounds really hard and hot.
I would not want to have to be the guy that cleans out septic tanks.
Oh.
Butt double.
Okay, starting with Jason. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I'd never thought you'd make it.
Come on in. Jason Spitzer's waiting for you.
Why are these hard? It's not what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Come on in and have a beer. Let's have a laugh. I don't know. I really don't know. Never thought about it.
I love it. It sheds so much light.
It really does.
On each one of you. So thank you for that. What I'd like to do is give you the opportunity here in closing to look out to the camera, and your camera is over here. Look out to the camera and give a pitch for this show, one at a time, to the audience, from the actors and the director. Anyone can go first.
If this isn't the funniest show you've ever seen at GCT, I will personally give you a refund on your ticket. Michael knows how to get in touch with me.
Oh, these guys are funny.
The show is so good. I hope. So come. You'll hear yelling.
There will be yelling, yes. Do I really have to answer this? I have no clue.
You have no clue how to sell this show to the
I
audience?
really don't. I have enough trouble just keeping my lines in my head. I mean, it really is funny. Come laugh. I'm just not. The
That's
pitch
great.
Man.
I love the
I'm
subtlety.
I'm not a pitch man. I'm
The
sorry.
subtlety is wonderful. Thank you.
Sucks.
It was great. It was wonderful. Thank you.
John Hempel's in it though, and he just won an Ostrander.
Go.
So
There
come
you go.
see John Hempel. He's just
Award winners.
Yeah,
Award
come see
winners.
Award winner John Hempel on this
Lena
show.
Wallace.
Lena
is an
Wallace.
award winner.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
I
then-
have never won any awards. I just want to be clear about that.
Will this show do it for you?
No. But it will be the funniest thing you've ever seen at GCT, or I will give you a refund.
Michael knows how to get in touch with him.
So, in the event that you're looking for a refund or you're looking at how to buy tickets, please call the box office at Germantown Community Theatre at 901-937-3023. Rumors by Neil Simon opens September 11th. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And thank you, Dee.
Thank you.
Thank you.